Welcome back to AfriFreedomChannel, where we unpack the truths the mainstream dares not touch. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay informed on the realities shaping Africa today. Let's dive into another eye-opening episode. A heartbreaking video has surfaced of a Nigerian soldier who was deployed to guard so-called repentant Boko Haram terrorists. He narrates, with visible pain, how he stood face to face with men who had brutally murdered his fellow soldiers in the past.
A soldier called me one day, one of my boys. He was crying. I paid money for his children's school fees and all that. He was crying that he was deployed to where they are protecting repentant bandits. And he's seen the ones that killed his friends and his co-soldiers and colleagues. And he's protecting them. And they are wearing uniforms, they are being fed, and they are being given all the attributes and the freedom that a prisoner cannot get. Meanwhile, people that snatch a phone, 33 Nokia, from Oshodi, from somebody's pocket, they are in prison.
Are still awaiting trial.
Yes, but the de-radicalized pass through this process. A ceremony is done, and they are given certificates and allowed to integrate into the society. When I say integrate into the society, it means that they all now have rights back to join any military, police, or any agency of their choice. And I told people that could listen then, I said, the only benefits for the radicalization process is to use that their gathering as harvesting intelligence. If I gather those people together, I will put listening devices, I will give them their phones, I will put credit on their phones, I will give them access to communicate, I will begin to track all the things they are saying, the people they are calling, and I will be picking those people quietly and just take them to a separate place. And before you know, the ones you kept that you are doing the radicalization will give you enough intelligence to pick up the king's makers and the henchmen in the forest. And before you know, everything will be dying.
Imagine the emotional torture of having to protect the very people who slaughtered your brothers in arms, all in the name of rehabilitation. What kind of system sends its warriors to protect their own killers? Are we healing or humiliating our defenders? Can a nation ever truly rise when it treats its protectors with contempt and rewards killers with second chances? This isn't just a story about misplaced justice, it's about the trauma our soldiers silently endure while the state turns its back on their pain. How long can this continue before morale breaks completely? In another powerful clip that has gone viral, Singapore's former Prime Minister, Kuan boldly stated that corruption was deliberately planted in Africa.
A corrupted system for the world to follow isn't just negligence, it's a deliberate act to preserve Western hegemony, to control nations from the inside out. Corruption is the deadliest cancer in any society. It doesn't serve justice, it only serves those who can pay. Fairness disappears, opportunities vanish, and the country becomes hostage to a small group of oligarchs, while millions of talented citizens are left behind, unseen, unheard. Many leave, forced to seek their future elsewhere. And in that quiet exodus, the nation loses what matters most. Not just people, but the very minds that could have shaped its future. Therefore, never follow blindly, not even by the book. A system only works if it fairly benefits everyone in society. Governments must step in when injustice occurs, not to protect the powerful, but to defend the vulnerable. They must create laws that restore balance and build mechanisms to prevent future abuse, because a just society isn't built on obedience, it's built on conscience, courage, and a shared commitment to fairness. Only then can a nation truly thrive, when every citizen has the right and the chance to rise.
His words reflect a deeply uncomfortable truth about the continent's post-colonial fate, where Western powers, having lost physical control, resorted to engineering failure from within. Why has Africa's elite class become the puppet of external interests? Who benefits from a corrupt Africa? And more importantly, who suffers most from it? This is not about blame, it is about understanding the historical sabotage that keeps the continent on its knees. Until we confront the roots of systemic corruption, we will continue to treat symptoms while ignoring the disease. Meanwhile, South Africa's own political analyst, Prince Mashele, made a scathing remark at Cyril Ramaphosa. He said, "We'll go down in history as one of the most useless presidents since 1994.
Look, Cyril Ramaphosa will go down in history as one of the most useless presidents we have had after 1994. And I don't mince my words, useless. The Zuma will go down in this as the most criminal. But let's park that. We've dealt with Zuma many times. The ANC is a criminal organization. The criminal in chief, it's his president, the Ramaphosa himself. By the way, Ramaphosa, if he lives long, say he touches 80, he will die in jail. You see, there is a moment for a leader of a country to show leadership, to lead his nation. Cyril Ramaphosa missed the moment. He was outside. Mkwana has told us what he knows. We're all shocked. We're expecting that he was going to be decisive. That's Cyril Ramaphosa. He did not act like a leader. He has completely forgotten his responsibilities. Let me tell you, I know how the state works. I worked in government myself. So I know what I'm talking about. A president is client number one of our intelligence services.
Absolutely.
They report to the president.
Yeah.
The president is supposed to get briefings, intelligence briefings, every single day in the morning. Before he begins his activities, he's supposed to be told what is happening in the country. So there is absolutely nothing that Mkwana knows that Cyril Ramaphosa does not know.
Such an important point, actually.
So this idea that there must be a commission of inquiry to investigate as if the president does not know what is happening is absolute nonsense. In fact, it's insulting our intelligence as a society. He knows. He even knows more than what Mkwana knows. So there is absolutely nothing for him to find out. He knows Mkunu is in the pockets of criminals. He knows that. But he cannot act sternly against Mkunu. Why? Because he and Mkunu are partners in crime. Let me explain what I'm talking about. When he became president of the ANC in 2017, Mkunu was the chief campaigner of CR17 in KwaZulu-Natal.
Absolutely, and also ran as SG on the slate.
Exactly. So all the dirty money that was collected by Cyril Ramaphosa from Bosasa and all manner of dirty money that he went to court to try and protect. The person who was handling that dirty money in KwaZulu-Natal was Mkunu. So Mkunu knows a lot about Cyril Ramaphosa's dirty money.
Sure.
That's why Cyril Ramaphosa will never deal with Mkunu seriously. So this whole thing, the way he has done it, they actually sat somewhere and say, how do we handle this thing in such a way that I don't injure you? And the deal is very clear to me. I can see it. The nation now knows they have seen what Mkwana has said. They will never believe us when we say you have done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
So what do? We must get you to step aside in such a way that you keep your fat salary. You keep your chauffeur-driven vehicles. You don't buy fuel. You live in the same house. All the benefits must not be taken away from you. That's what he has done.
Yeah.
This thing called a leave of absence. At the same time, then he goes to appoint an ANC professor. It's an ANC professor, this chap. We know him. Now, this is what is going to happen. When our country is in trouble, infiltrated by criminals, Cyril Ramaphosa, instead of dealing with the criminals, he actually makes us pay more. We pay him 2 ministers. We are even going to pay for a commission of inquiry.
And 2 deputy ministers.
So, the summary of the story is this. This is the most expensive way of insulting us. He has used our money as a nation to insult us expensively. That's the gist of it. There's no other way. If you are fooled by Ramaphosa, you are fooled because you choose to be fooled.
At this point, yeah.
At this point. The last point is this. Einstein said the definition of a fool is someone who does the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. How many commissions of inquiry has the ANC government, even under previous presidents, have been instituted? And where have the actions been? We know the ANC, when they want a problem to disappear, they institute a commission of inquiry in order for the nation's anger to dissipate. And then they move on. This is exactly what Cyril Ramaphosa is doing. He thinks that we are idiots as a nation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fascinated by a lot that you say there, but first, the connection between Nkunu and Ramaphosa, and I think of the CR17 bank statements because there's also some reporting that links Brown Mogotsi, who's this individual who has been said to have played an intermediary role between these nefarious criminal interests and the minister. And Ramaphosa, he was part of the CR17 campaign. So if the president isn't careful, this might spill out into more than just Nkunu and actually start bringing some of his skeletons to the fore. I add further, Phala is a situation where the police, criminal elements, and the executive again have come into this triangle, and it's been suppressed as hard as the president can suppress it. But if we're not careful here, this could go much further than even the president knows.
Look, like I said earlier, the ANC is a criminal organization. The criminal in chief, it's his president, the Ramaphosa himself. By the way, that the ANC is criminal and corrupt, it's not only me who says it. Ramaphosa wrote a letter himself and said that the ANC is accused number one in the court of corruption. So even Ramaphosa knows what I'm talking about, that this party is a corrupt and criminal party. Full stop. Secondly, you are quite correct. Phala was an open act of criminality. If you were found in your house, Sizwe, with the kind of money that was found in Cyril Ramaphosa's sofa, by now your father and your wife and everybody, your relatives, would be coming to prison to greet you. You wouldn't be sitting with me like this. The same applies to me if I was found with that kind of money.
I can assure you these couches don't have, sadly, that amount.
Yeah, they don't feel like I'm sitting on this. It doesn't feel like there's money. So if money was found in this couch, you would be gone. So look, we can't, you see, when your country is burning, it's no time to lie. Tell the truth. Ramaphosa, when it comes to Phala, acted criminally. He was supposed to be in jail by now, but he was protected by his friends, and the police were used in the process. So I am not surprised when he is doing damage control and to protect Nkunu, because the police, the senior brass in the police, they protected him. So it's a body thing.
Sure.
So when you say if we are not careful, don't say if we are not careful, because when you say if we are not careful, you are including you and I. We're not part of that criminality. Say if the ANC criminals and Ramaphosa are not careful, this thing is going to come to bite them. Here is my prediction. Ramaphosa, if he lives long, say he touches 80, he will die in jail.
Sure.
You see, when you are in power, and I've seen Zuma, by the way, play this game before, you can use state institutions to protect yourself. You commit crime because you have power. But let me tell you, 10 years is nothing in the life of a nation. I saw Zuma exiting power, and I saw Zuma going to jail. When the next administration comes, Phala will not die. all those files, not all of them will disappear. And those investigations will still be conducted. Ramaphosa is going to be arrested at some point.
Sure.
That's my prediction. Yeah. Live and I live. And we'll see.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. It's quite a statement to make, but we've seen things like that in our country, and the politically powerful can only protect themselves for so long before things start to shift. And you can really feel the ground shifting after these allegations, partly because I think up to now, Ramaphosa has very skillfully pinned the blame for the country's problems still on Zuma and the Zuma era. And
statement may sound harsh, but it echoes the growing frustration of millions of South Africans who feel betrayed by the promises of the ANC. How did South Africa move from the hope of Mandela to the despair of unemployment, load shedding, and a failing economy? Why are leaders in Africa more concerned with political survival than national prosperity? And how long will citizens remain silent in the face of deliberate dysfunction? Mashele's statement isn't just a personal opinion, it's a reflection of a collective national disillusionment. It's a cry from a people who have watched their dreams burn in the fire of political convenience. Across Africa, from Nigeria to South Africa, from soldiers betrayed to citizens ignored, one thing is clear: the people are awake. These stories are not isolated, they are chapters in a painful book still being written. Will we, the people, rise to rewrite it? Or will we continue watching the slow erosion of our dignity, our truth, and our future? At AfriFreedomChannel, we believe that real change begins with honest conversations, like the ones we are having right here. So tell us in the comments, what do you think? Have our leaders truly failed us, or are we still too afraid to demand accountability? Keep the discussion alive below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stay aware, stay strong, and always remember, freedom begins with the courage to speak.